Well, hello, hi, and how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. Welcome to the Wednesday happening that is sweeping the internet. It's taking the nation by storm. It's taking the world by storm. We're all over the place. We are here for the Wednesday night newsroom. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative. I am known sometimes among people as the beau in the chapeau. I am sometimes known as the fine fella in the fedora. On occasion, I'm called the common man with common sense, but in this moment, as always, I am your host. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please, if you haven't done it yet, please do me some favors. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Rumble. And while you're at it, hit the bell for notifications. Want to make sure you're always aware when new stuff is coming out, be it a live stream or a video. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and leave a comment below. It really does help with reaching out to people who may not be aware of this channel. So if you do all that for me, I would really appreciate it. All right. As you all are aware, my regular co-host, Miss Tracy Barkley, has been going through some things right now, and she is sort of on hiatus, and I have been promising to bring on a series of guest co-hosts. Well, when I started thinking about it, I was like, well, I got one person in mind who absolutely ought to be here for sure as the very first co-host. And you have seen him around the internet. He is a man of the world, a sophisticate. He is the fellow at the party that most people are sitting around in their chairs saying, what's he going to say next? You never quite know with this guy. He's tall, dark, and handsome, and that's not my opinion. That was what was written on a bathroom stall wall somewhere. I don't know what that meant, but, take it for what it's worth. I don't think he did it, so, we're going to give that a little more credence. He is the one, the only, the inestimable Reuben Christopher Haynes. How you doing, partner?
I'm doing well. It's like salutations to everybody here. I got a hat for donation expands.
No, for donation. We are on the move, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
And if I ever disagree with you, I will change hats. I disagree. No, I'm playing.
Oh, good to see you, brother. How you been doing?
Yeah. Well, it's been a very interesting. 2 months now? 3 months? March, April, and May. My God, 3 months already. Yes, I've been dealing with family issues. A lot of people in my life have been, afflicted. My nephew very ill, so keep Gabriel Haynes in your prayers. So, where I'm still waiting to hear back on anything about, give, send, go, and all that stuff. So I'll keep everybody posted. But follow me on my social media. I'll do that. But I'm here because the call was made. I went out, got my hat. And I'm here to let's see, because again, my bingo card is completely empty because the stuff that's been going on is off the chart.
Brother, the way my boss at work has a great way of describing it. He said, moments like this, it's like trying to drink water coming out of a fire hydrant. I mean, if it were just one story to focus on, that'd be one thing, but my goodness, it's just every time you turn around, something big is dropping. So I tell you what, let's say some hellos to some people, and then let's get into it. We're going to start on the YouTube side, as there are many who are filtering into the room and many more to follow. We say good hello to Z Highness representing the 199. Let's see. Now, Reuben, you might be familiar with this young lady.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute. Is she the one that wrote that on the bathroom wall? Or, was that, sorry. Sorry. Hi, I didn't mean to do that to you. Sorry about that, dear. Fiance. Oh, fiance. Oh, my. Well, we'll let you comment on that when the time is right, good sir. Let's see who else is here. Lana's in the house. And Haya. And Z Highness. Love you, ladies. Glad you're here with us this evening. Let's see who else is here. Yes. Hat Speechers Unite. All you hat speechers out there, daggone it, come together. like the Beatles once sang. Who else is here? All right, we're waiting for everybody else to kind of roll into the room. Let's pop over to the Rumble side, see who's here tonight. Well, the OJ Wingnuts are represented. Oh, my TBA is here. We got a big old howdy, folks. And WWG1 is in the house with his merry memes, and yes, we'll be getting to those here momentarily. Let's see. Any messages? WWG1 says, "Here I sit, brokenhearted, trying to shite, but only farted. I saw that on the bathroom wall as well." Oh my God! Just oh boy!
And that's why it's on Rumble.
That's why we have Rumble. Oh my God! No, it's just geez. Anyway, all right. Glad to have y'all here with us. All right, folks, let's dive right in. Ruben's got stuff to talk about. I've got stories to talk about. You've got stuff you want to comment on. And we're going to do our best to hit the big stuff because, like I said, trying to cover the news anymore is like trying to drink water out of a fire hydrant. It is just absolutely insane. But anyway, we will begin, as is our wont, with the Merry Memes section of the show. And, it doesn't matter what time frame one finds themselves in. Humor is always going to be one of those things that, be it now in the present or in the future, some people are just going to really love the joke or they're just not. I mean, for example, imagine, if you will, the future. You're on a spaceship and you have this kind of exchange happen. "Every morning I take my cow on a long walk through the local vineyard." "You don't mean..." "Yes, I heard it through the grapevine."
Oh, God, no.
It's a good joke, but the guy who's hearing it, apparently he doesn't like it. I don't know what you're going to do in a case like that. It's just awful. I don't know. I don't know at all. It's just totally unfair. It's a great joke. It's just not landing. I don't know what you do in a case like that. It's just a bad situation to find oneself in. Truly.
The other one I liked? Oh God, I gotta find it now. I have.
Oh no! Ruben's bringing it. Oh, hang on, fedora. Let's see. What is this? "I used to have a black fedora. I wish I still had it. Got it on my junior class trip to DC and Colonial Williamsburg." Hey, I'll tell you what. Y'all know where to find me on Twitter. If you got pictures of yourselves in hats, particularly if there's fedoras or even ladies' hats for that matter, you know what? Or ladies' fedoras. Take a picture of it. Send it to me on Twitter. I'd like to see it. So, all good. The hand and the face meme of Captain Picard is the gift that yeah. Do you know how many memes that picture's been added to over the years? Good Lord. Good Lord indeed. All right. Now, one of the biggest news items that's going on right now is this thing about Joe Biden and the auto pen. Now, Ruben, you've heard about this, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, for those of you maybe that are just coming to the live stream now and you're like, what the heck is he talking about? There's a big controversy about what documents that Joe Biden did or did not sign. Now, as y'all might imagine, given how many documents a president of the United States, as the chief executive of the federal government, has to sign, there's a provision made for that, and they have a thing called the auto pen. Well, a lot of people are making the statement that, Biden didn't sign much of anything because of his mental or physical problems, that the auto pen people were doing it for him, the people who ran the machine. Well, Biden and his now retired handlers, such as they are, have fought back against this notion. As a matter of fact, they have put forth a picture to demonstrate that Joe Biden was absolutely physically, no, don't roll your eyes at this. I'm serious. That Joe Biden was physically signing all these documents. As a matter of fact, our trusty folks, the Porch hounds, managed to get their hands on one of these pictures. So, folks, judge for yourself or not. One moment. We're having technical difficulties as usual. 1 second. Here we go. No. There it is. Okay. Judge for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Ruben, he's physically signing it, is he not? It seems, what is that? A get out of jail free card? Wait a minute. Hold it. What the heck? What the heck?
Oh, jeez.
Now, look, I think part of the controversy, to be fair, part of the controversy comes from the fact he's using a particular brand called AutoPen, but he is physically signing stuff. I mean, he's signing this, get out of jail free card. I don't know who he was giving it to, but I mean, Ruben, what do you think about this? I mean, does this finally put this conspiracy theory to bed? I mean, really?
I stand corrected.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm ready to admit that I'm wrong too on the basis of this picture. So, I'm just saying it just kind of,
no.
Good evening, darling. Mwah. Glad to have you here. And we see a very friendly face over there on Rumble, and we say hello to her. Good evening, lady. So a tip of the hat to you. So just don't give me that. Don't give me that. I'll explain later, Ruben.
Right.
We didn't have time. We didn't have time to get into that before the show started, so I'll explain later. WWG1 says, regarding that auto pen in the picture, it works like a big vibrator. You need not put any effort in what's. Oh my God. WWG1, we disavow. That is funny, but we still disavow. I mean, what the?
And like the auto pen, maybe WWG1 doesn't really exist, and just Brian's make up these lines.
Oh, no. I know for a fact WWG1 exists.
I know.
Which I can explain that later. Oh my goodness. Oh no, the ladies are in revolt over there on YouTube. Stop it. No. Oh my God. All right, ladies, we're going to get away from WWG1's comment. Now WWG1 says, I am AI. No, you're not AI. I know one person in particular who will absolutely dispute that assessment, sir. And we will leave that be. So,
Did you see the one I sent you regarding Trump and Bruce Springsteen?
Oh, wait, hang on. What is this? Oh, is this what I think it is? Hang on, folks. Because
had to throw it in there.
Oh, yes, we definitely need to share this one. Now, as y'all are aware, or perhaps not, Bruce Springsteen, the legendary rock and roll performer, has been of late being quite vocal in his opinions about Donald Trump, which is not necessarily surprising. I mean, Springsteen is a quite legendary and long-term activist for Democrat causes, et cetera, and so on. Well, in the era of the Donald Trump second term, Trump is his basic operating philosophy is summed up in 4 letters, FAFO. And if you know what that means, then you know what I mean. Trump not taking much crap off of anybody, including a aging rocker. Well, Trump recently responded to something that he found on social media. And this is too good not to share, folks. So with that, we hope you enjoy this as much as we do. So here you go. Man. Hey, Ruben, what do you think the length on that one was? Was that like a 300-yarder or what?
Exactly. 300. Perfect.
Oh, I had let's check that out one more time for the benefit of the audience, because I tell you what, Trump's swing is pretty good for a gentleman his age. Check this out. Bam! Right in the middle of the back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness! I tell you what, you got to give it to the Trumpster. He definitely can put that thing down the fairway. Oh my goodness! Where'd you go? Oh my gosh! Don't do that. Don't wander off like that. I'll start calling you Joe Biden. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. If anybody's Joe Biden here, it's your computer.
Truer words were never spoken, my friend. Truer words were never spoken. I don't know what kind of cheese I got to give these mice on the treadmill to make them work harder, but it's kind of like reaching the point. I don't know what to do here. So it's like, TBA over on Rumble says that golf ball in the back was nearly as good as the one that hit Hillary as she was getting on her plane. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another good one. Very true. Very true indeed. All right. What else do we have going on out here in the world? Ruben, and I'm sure you've run into this recently as you travel about the world doing your Ruben sort of thing. It seems that no matter how well-intentioned government policy is, it always tends to backfire in places that you would never quite expect. I mean, for example, the question of patient privacy rights. I mean, you've been to doctors, I've been to doctors, they're always trying to protect our privacy. They're always trying to make sure that information is not given out to people who shouldn't have it. And, make sure that as much as possible that our personal and private information is safe. Right. However, there are some moments in life when, doggone it, it doesn't matter what you do. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, for example, take this young lady. I can't pick up my dog's prescription because I can't remember the date of my dog's birth. The dog, my veterinarian won't tell me because of patient privacy. She's a dog. The dog won't tell me either. I don't know, Ruben. I mean, call me crazy, but there should be some kind of exception here that lets this poor dog owner be able to. I don't know. Yeah, you got the same look on your face that I did when I heard about this.
What the?
You mean put that back up there?
It's not going to make it any worse. It's going to actually it's actually killing brain cells. I'm reading it. I can't pick up my dog's prescription because I can't.
The dog's date of birth. And the dog won't tell me. And they won't tell me because of patient privacy. And the patient is a dog, and the dog can't tell her. So I mean, what's the poor girl going to do to get this dog's prescription? I mean, well, that's what I said. Oh Lord! I mean, that's just ridiculous.
This makes no sense.
I know. Well, that's what she said, in more ways than one. But you get where I'm coming from on this.
Yeah.
I mean, these privacy laws, I'm telling you, man, they're just not working out for anybody here. Oh my God, terrible! I say, terrible. Oh goodness. Ruben. Have you heard about the Trump administration's efforts to get illegal aliens to self-deport?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, the Trump administration, as always, is working real hard to try and make things happen. And to that end, and to try to get illegal aliens to commit to self-deport, the Trump administration has come up with a video along with their public notices in writing to try to encourage illegals as to why they should go ahead and self-deport. Well, we here on the Electronic Front Porch managed to get our hands on this video, and for the sake of the audience, we thought we'd play it for you. So give us 1 second, folks, and we'll get this pulled up. Yeah, Ruben hasn't live streamed with me in a while. He's sitting there going, "Oh God, now I remember why I haven't live streamed with this idiot in a while." So, all right, folks, here's the video as was given to us. So do us all a favor and check it out.
To my amigos Latinos that came into El America alegremente, comprende que es time to go back to your casita, por favor. President Trumpo is not bocito. This is mucho serious. If you don't self-deporto and go back to your casita soon, El ICE is going to breako into your casa and arresto you and all your illegal alien amigos. So, por favor, listen to President Trumpo and self-deporto. Ahora. If you self-deporto, President Trumpo might give you a chance to come back illegally. Anyway, muchas gracias y adios, amigos.
I think this is going to work out wonderfully. That video seems to me to get the message across.
That's fact.
Yeah, with tact, feeling, respect. I think it's going to work fine. I think it's going to work out just great. Call me crazy, but I mean, what could possibly go wrong here? I mean, really?
I tell you, it's funny. Yes. See, I is laughing out loud. So that's a thing. At least we can bring people laughing as everything goes to whatever. Well, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. When it comes to, I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but it was like that auto pit thing is just so crazy. It's insane.
Oh, we're gonna get into it, brother. Believe me. There's a
Yeah.
whole plethora of issues surrounding Joe Biden right now.
It's getting going, yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, this next one is more in the way of for men and women. How do they communicate with each other? How do they find new and interesting ways to express their feelings? To let them know how much they care about each other, how much they, how they are to the other person, I guess is maybe the best way to put it. I mean, Ruben, you have a significant someone in your life. I have a significant someone in my life. We're always trying to find new and different ways as men to communicate with the women in our lives, what we are, how we feel, etc. Now, I don't know about you, but some guy came up with something. I don't know how successful this one's going to be. I mean, call me crazy on this one, but I don't know, Ruben. I just, I mean, I realize he's trying to reach out to a woman and get her to understand, what she is to him. But, I don't know, man. This could, oh
Lord.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I put the STD in stud. All I need is you. Ruben, I'm not feeling it. I mean, I know this might be his best efforts here, daggone it, but I'm just not, feeling it. Your thoughts, sir. I mean, yeah, as you are a man whose opinion should be listened to in these matters.
Idiocracy was a blueprint for what's happening. It was a documentary. No.
Yeah.
Well, Idiocracy, A New World, 1984. We all talked about this. It's leading up to this stuff. That's what it is. It's basically, and I get the meme thing. I get the whole comedy thing. But again, I've looked at the technology and means of technology for a while, and the prevalence or the resurgence of humor that can be very bizarre, not even beyond what it was. It's just too decadent, too weird. And it pushes the society a certain way, because again, society's always this. It's a pendulum. We expand out. Let's try and get what's going on, and then it pulls back, and we're in a pullback period right now.
Yep. Absolutely.
Tradition values are coming back.
True. But slowly. even saying that, sir. I mean, and let's look at it from a lady's perspective. I mean, there are moments that no matter what they do, bless their hearts, they're just not going to make the man in their life happy. I mean, for example, you're trying to cook a really good dinner for someone, and then it doesn't matter how well you prepare the chicken kebabs. I mean, you have this kind of stuff happen. I mean,
Oh, I feel bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for her. I feel very bad for this lady. I mean, WWG1, going back to that previous means that lawn tractor is a Mercedes. He's got a great shot. Well, the lawn tractor might score him a few points, but I think the messaging still needs to be worked on. But I mean, in this poor girl's case, she went out of her way to make a fantastic chicken kebab, and the unappreciative little bastard goes off to bed with his third wife. I mean, seriously, this is... Ugh. I mean, yes, exactly. Congratulations, dear. I mean, it's just, yeah. Oh my God. Ah, indeed. Indeed. I mean, you could be like this poor woman. Look, it's rough out there, man. That's all I can say. It's just rough out there. All right. One more. And I've got to thank Lana for this one. And this one's pretty cool. This one's really, especially with Memorial Day coming up. I hope this thing doesn't pixelate so bad that it. I'm going to try and do this. Hopefully, it doesn't pixelate so bad on everybody. But I'm just going to let this one speak for itself. This one's pretty cool. At least I think so, anyway. This, in case you're not able to read it, this trans activist says, "Hey, we worked hard for our flag. What did you do for yours?" Well, the answer that this guy gives her, this is pretty good. So with that, folks, I hope you enjoy this as much as I did receiving it. And again, thanks to Lana for this one. So here you go.
We earned our flag. What did you do for your...
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool indeed. So, Lana, thank you for that one, dear. And especially in light of Memorial Day coming up, that's pretty daggone cool. All right, Ruben, I'm going to throw it to you for the first topic of the night, brother. What's on your brain and what do you want to talk about?
Auto pin. And the
all right, let's talk about it.
It is. Oh, my God. So my take on it is not just the auto pin, it is the whole cancer diagnosis. It is the Democratic Party. What they're doing is putting up their sacrificial lambs out there to be blamed for this as they continue to do other things. They're going to basically say, okay, these people are going to be, told, they're going to have disbarred, whatever, they're going to be out of government, but they're going to get a nice cushy job on radio or television or whatever. That's how it's going to be. But we have to be very careful. Two things. Number one, there has to be a national examination of the 25th Amendment. And if the cabinet doesn't do their duty, someone else has to. And what is frightening is that 75 million people who voted for Trump in 2020 knew that Biden was not there. And this cancer diagnosis could not have happened just recently. It's impossible. And forget it that Biden was president for 4 years. He was vice president for 8, and he's been a senator. So he's had access to the highest quality medical care for a long time. So this has been suppressed at the highest levels. And this actually you mentioned it with HIPAA laws, but this is the difference. The president's health is a national concern. Now, there's some say it may be security or not, and we had it before. We had Woodrow Wilson. You had FDR and how he is. You even had, but then again, you had Kennedy, and he had conditions, Addison's and other things that he kept hidden.
Right.
And he was, but again, it's what do you do? But for 4 years that we know now, at least, or I believe that we didn't have a president. We had a auto pin. You had people, the Democratic Party, the deep state people doing things for 4 years. And Trump's now trying to clean it up and do things. And so there has to be a public responsibility. We can't say any longer that we have to vote for the good people. We have to stand up and do things.
Yeah.
So things have to be changed now. There's the Convention of States picking up because this is a mockery. Because if Jake Tapper earns $1 off of this, that is a disaster. That people have finally say, "Oh, it happened." It didn't happen. It It's just it is. But my concern is this is the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
What else are they doing? What else is going on? Because
Well,
you have yeah. That's
go,
my
no,
concern.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
but what else is going on? You have Israel, you have Ukraine, you have China, you have all these things going on economically. You have Europe falling apart. So why are they doing this now?
I'm kind of like you in that I heard an interesting theory today, and it does make sense. And this is not necessarily original to me. This comes from Steve Bannon, who's a Washington insider in his own right. He was having a conversation with Eric Bolling on Bolling's show on Real America's Voice Network. And Bolling basically asked the same question you did. Why now? What it is about May of 2025 that makes doing this so imperative, or at least so prescient, that someone feels like they got to announce, hey, by the way, Joe Biden has cancer? Bannon's got a theory that somebody's trying to clear out the underbrush. This is not done necessarily because of Biden, but because of somebody else, Kamala Harris. Think about it for a minute. Kamala Harris still wants to be president. Why in God's name, I have no idea, because she'll never get it. But she still wants it. And the power brokers inside the Democrat Party and the money people realize we cannot let this crazy woman run again. She very nearly sank us in 24. She'll sink us for sure in 28. The announcement about the cancer, the book, the everything else has the unintended consequence of dragging down her chances of getting the presidential nomination outright again.
Because she herself didn't say anything.
And speaking of Tapper, did you see any of the exchanges with Megyn Kelly on her show?
I didn't see them, unfortunately, but I know how it would. I know how bad it would be. How hard she'd be on him.
Folks, I've got a clip, and for Ruben's benefit, and for the benefit of people who didn't see this, Jake Tapper, as y'all are aware, is out hawking a book called Original Sin. And he and his co-author, Alex Thompson of Politico, have done research, and they have come to the conclusion, I hope you're sitting down as we announce this, they've come to the conclusion that there was a cover-up of Biden's cognitive decline. Oh my God. Shocking, I know. And so he's trying to sell the book. All right, fine. I can respect that. I'm a capitalist at heart. If he can write a book, sell it, fine. So he goes on Megyn Kelly's show, and Megyn Kelly freely admits she and Jake are friends, even though they don't agree on much of anything. Well, with friends like this, who needs enemies? I got a clip, and if you want an idea how it went, Megyn Kelly didn't hold back on the guy, nor should she have. And with that, this runs about 2 minutes. I'll stop it where I think it's necessary, but check this out.
You didn't ask him about it. You didn't follow up on the fact that he was falling up the stairs, that he was losing his train of thought regularly, that he was slurring, that he was incomprehensible, that he was getting lost on the White House lawn. You sat right across from him and you asked none of that, notwithstanding the fact that he had promised you he would be fully transparent about his health issues.
That's true. But I did ask him about his age and the fact that the American people had concluded that even though he said whenever anybody brought up the subject of his age, watch me. And I said,
yes,
they're watching you and they are concerned that you were too old for this job.
But you know as well as I do that there's a way of, you can say, hey, there's this poll on your age, or you could say, you just forgot that Jackie Walorski was dead. You asked where she was moments after watching a videotape tribute to her. You lowered the flags at the White House after she died. This happened 13 days before you sat with him. There is a way of pressing a man like that on the actual infirmities to bring it home to him and to the audience, and you didn't do it.
That's correct. I didn't. And like I said, I feel humility about my coverage. I mean, it's not like I was asking him his favorite movie or his favorite color. We were talking about
humility about his coverage. Oh my. Okay. Now, okay. Rant incoming. Humility, my ass. You covered for him. Well, I didn't cover for him. You didn't do your job. You may not have overtly covered for him in your mind. We, on the other hand, out here, the news consuming public, have a different take on that. you, in your mind, you may not have overtly covered for him, but you most certainly gave him cover by the fact you didn't press the issue. You didn't do any investigative work during his presidency. You didn't listen to people who were trying to tell you, Lara Trump in particular. I mean, please don't sit there. Oh, well, I feel, I feel regret about my lack of coverage. You oughta, bonehead. Ruben?
Well, if you look back in history, you can look it up. Jake Tapper questioning Trump during his presidency. How many times he had guests on, and they questioned his competence, his mental acuity, everything like that, out in public without doctors stuff. So the idea they knew this for all this time, but did nothing.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, and
Again,
now
they have no credibility. They have no credibility. I'm done with
well,
I'm done with CNN completely.
And a lot of people are commenting about the fact, oh, this is all going to be terrible for the Democrat Party. No, I'll take it one step further. If there are any nails left to need to be put in the casket of the supposed mainstream media, Jake Tapper's book is going to do it. This might be one of the last, if not the last, nails to put to bed the argument that they should have any credibility at all. Right. I mean, when multi-millions of people can watch this man fall down as he walks up a set of stairs, fall over on a bicycle, which, I'm not in as bad a shape as he is, but I've done that. But you get my point. When millions of people every night watching their televisions or looking at something on a computer screen or their iPhone or their Android can see quite obviously this man's got problems. And when you try and point that out to the journalistic community, hey, don't you think you guys ought to investigate this? I mean, oh no, there's nothing wrong with him. He's perfectly fine. This is the best version of Joe Biden ever, says Joe Scarborough. And now 4 years later, a guy's trying to sell a book, which again, I have no problem with him trying to sell a book, but please don't insult my intelligence as you do it, or insult your intelligence, Ruben, or anybody else in the audience, or anybody, across the internet that's watching this live stream.
People got banned on Twitter. People got banned for saying misinformation, for saying lies, for and anything like this. You had who is it? Laura Loomer. You had this breaking news a long time ago, and she was discredited, and they're still doing it. Like she's a hack. They're coming out now. It's bizarre. That's what I'm saying. When I was surprised. I still am surprised that the media called Trump victory so soon. This is another thing where the media moves in a certain way, and somebody's doing this. Somebody up on top is turning the knob and saying, release it. And you see it with the whole Diddy thing. You see it with this thing, the auto pin cancer. They throw these things out. It's a distraction. And I don't know what else they're doing, trying to do economically, something they're coming down the pike. I don't know.
Well, and you talk about Laura Loomer, and I have my occasional disagreements with Loomer or the way she does things, but let's remember she's the one that broke the story back last July about the medical emergency out in Las Vegas, where they flew, and I mean with like the speed of Mercury, they were flying him back to Washington D.C. and then taking him up to Wilmington, Delaware, and everybody's like, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with Biden. It's not a medical emergency, yada, yada, yada. Oh, really? I mean, and that sort of feeds into another story. Did you hear today the announcement from Biden's spokesperson? Matter of fact, I've got it here. Give me 1 second. From Biden's spokesperson that the last time he got a PSA test, which would have screened him for prostate cancer, was 2014.
Huh.
Now you're laughing the way I did when I heard this. This is the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard of. Right. There ain't no way this could possibly be true.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible. They go through the presidential, like the fitness, everything like that. The reports that come out. I'm just saying that the conspiracy. The conspiracy behind this is bad, and it just basically tells you that everything's corrupt, and that's why I'm saying I just lost all credibility. I'm just like done.
Well, and the reason that it doesn't make any sense, and I've got a clip here to play for you guys. there's a physician. Let me find his name here real fast. Give me one moment. Gupta, not the Gupta you normally associate with CNN. It's Dr. Vin Gupta. He's appeared on Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, and they got into this discussion. But he dropped a nugget of information that is very, very pertinent for purposes of this discussion. Now, remember what Biden's people said today. He hadn't had a PSA test since 2014. Matter of fact, I've also read, and I don't have it pulled up here, that part of the reason that you don't, you just don't screen men past the age of 70, as part of a cost-saving measure, which I thought was the most bizarre thing I heard of. But I want to play you this because, keep in mind what they're saying. Oh, no. He hadn't had a PSA test since 2014. Now, even Joe Scarborough makes a very interesting observation, and I want you guys to hear this. Check this out. I'm not going to play all of it, but I'm going to get the important parts in.
If you're just talking about a 78-year-old guy that is not running the free world, that's one thing. But if you're a White House physician and you have any man over 40 years old, are you not going to at least say, hey, once a year, like every other physician says, once a year, we need to do a physical exam and check, because this is like one of the leading causes, one of the leading sicknesses for men over 40.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, I think 100%. And did they do a digital rectal exam to assess his prostate? Again, typically that's done in the presence of symptoms. To your point, he's the leader of the free world. Did they do it and not characterize it? It's hard to know. We're speculating here. I would say in an abundance of caution, probably be holistic and comprehensive. That would make sense. It is interesting to note that President Trump's, President Obama's, and President Bush II, in their most recent physicals, in their terms of office, obviously 2025 for President Trump, did comment on their PSA levels. And so they got screened while in office, and they commented on it. It's not easy to access the most recent ones from President Biden. You can read the summary articles. I couldn't access it on the archive site on the White House just before I came on.
Oh, gee, there's a shock. I couldn't access it. Wow, I wonder why. Okay, now here's the point that I want to get to, and Ruben, I know you're smart enough you picked up immediately on what he said. George W. Bush was screened with a PSA test regularly every year he was in office. So you're talking about a period of 2000 to 2008? Okay. Obama was in for 2 terms. So you're talking 2009 to 2016. Trump was in from 2017 to 2020 in the first term. So we're talking about a period of 20 years. Every president in that period got a PSA test as a screening against the possibility of prostate cancer. But then all of a sudden, we get to Biden, and they stop.
Because he had it. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, well, exactly. I know. Well, no, but I mean, and you bring up a good point. How many medical people have you listened to in the past, 4 days since this story broke? Have you found any one of them yet, in all seriousness, that said, oh, okay, yeah, he could have gotten it at the tail end of 2024, and then it really metastasized into the bones in a space of about 5 or 6 months. Have you found anybody yet who has said this? I've maybe heard of one person, and I don't give him an ounce of credibility.
Right.
Okay. For this to have reached the level that it is, he's had to have had it for years. He's had to have it working on him for the longest time. And I did a video the other night. I mean, Ruben, I'd like to get your take on this. Okay, let's assume for a moment that this Dr. Kevin O'Connor, who was the White House physician for Biden, that they did find the cancer, but they didn't disclose it. Okay, let's deal with the question of disclosure. That's a separate issue. Were you treating him? How were you treating him? What medications were you giving him? Could the treatments have affected not only his physical abilities, but his cognitive abilities? I think all those are reasonable questions.
Right.
I mean, your thoughts.
No, it is, because again, if a medical doctor that is charged with telling the public, because as you stated, since 2000 to 2017, sorry, 20, every president has given out their PSAs, and this one suddenly doesn't. That is it's egregious. It's almost treasonous, because again, the man with the button, hand of the button, leader of the free world, was not there and was potentially had a life-threatening illness. It's not.
Yeah.
No, this is not good.
Yeah. There is nothing about this that makes a bit of sense. I mean, and my question is this, and again, I heard this today, and it's a great question to ask, is when Robert Hur, who's the special counsel who did the interviews with Biden in October of 2023 over the document scandal, okay, when he finished his interviews and finished his report and went to, because he has to report to the Attorney General, who at the time was Merrick Garland, okay? Why did Merrick Garland not say, holy crap, you got to be kidding me. He's this bad off. I've got to go have a conversation with the vice president and the other members of the cabinet.
Right.
But none of that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, matter of fact, I've got something here, and a really good, going back to that point about what kind of treatment was he receiving. Hang on a minute. I want to pop this up here. Of all people for this to come from, Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. But yeah, I know, laugh, but he makes a really good point.
I know.
I want to read this. The treatment for prostate cancer is androgen deprivation theory, ADT. What are the side effects of ADT? Decreased mental sharpness, loss of muscle mass, fatigue, depression, or mood swings. Was he taking ADT? And is that what explains Biden's mental and physical condition? Okay, we don't know, but I think that's a reasonable theory.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, and this is like, it is. But again, how would you say it? For the last 5 years, we were all Weekend at Bernie's type of thing. We all knew this stuff was going on. And then we were laughed at, and now it's like, oh, it's a big scandal because it was hidden. It's beyond that. It's not they did it. It's you all did it. The news, the media, the medical industry, corporations, this and that, because people knew, and with this information, they could control government, control the way of the world. It's not good.
Yeah. Let me get some comments in here from some of our folks watching. Over on Rumble, WWG1 says, so his doctor didn't see this advanced cancer till now? Turbo cancer? Is this to bring out bring out to the public the danger of the jabs? T-Gaggy says, my intelligence is beneath insult. Well, amen to that, brother. I guess I'm the same way, and glad to have you here tonight. Let's see. TBA says, this non-existent PSA test and Biden having cancer is just another story to discredit the mainstream media for their cover-up of the Biden administration. Good points. TBA says, if it was hidden because the American media lied to the American people. Amen to that.
But no one has credibility now. That's the thing.
Yeah, they've destroyed themselves. I mean, Tapper's out here trying to make this some kind of a mea culpa. Oh, I am. I'm muted.
Your audio just went out.
Oh my God.
Hello there.
Oh, wait.
Anyway.
Wait a minute.
We're live. I'll just keep on talking until he fixes this thing. So yeah, this is a total egregious affront to the American people. Are you there, Brian?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
You're not there yet.
Can you hear me?
I don't hear you.
Hang on. You can hear me. You can hear me?
Nope,
let me step out. Let me step out of the room for a minute. Hang on.
That's
audio.
Strange. Huh.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Odd.
Yes, no.
Go. I don't know. You want to pop out and pop in again? I'll keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. So yeah, basically, like this auto pin debacle. It's the auto pin, the cancer diagnosis, the Harris not interacting. Again, this is all bad for the Democratic Party. This is all bad for the United States government. This is all bad for the trust that we place in the media and our institutions. And that is why it's more so now that we all have to be authentic. We all have to care for ourselves. I'm doing it now with my health. And this is Brian coming back saying,
Hello?
I can't hear anything.
Everybody else can hear me. Can everybody else hear me? This is nuts. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, what happened is you clipped or something clipped, and then then you
Hang on,
your audio died.
I'm checking my settings. I really am. All right, if people can hear me, leave an F in chat.
I don't know.
If people can hear me, all right. Well, look here. She says she can hear me.
Wait. Now it's me. Okay, let me get out.
All right, come back in. I'll keep it going. Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, this whole thing is absolutely insane. This story from the Biden people makes no sense whatsoever. You mean to tell me that the leader of the free world, the man who is charged with being responsible for the nuclear codes, this guy doesn't have a test for prostate cancer? He's over 70 years old. In 2014, let's see, he's 82 right now. It's 2025. 2015, he would have been, all right, he would have been in his early 70s. He would have been in his early 70s when all this started. And can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. No, I was just saying, if you believe this story that the Bidens are putting out there, and when I say the Bidens, it's Biden in retirement, okay? It's his spokesperson. If you believe this story, Biden was maybe 70 or 71 years old in 2014, okay? And he was still at that point the vice president of the United States. All right, maybe not getting quite the same medical attention as the president, but as the guy who's the backup in the bullpen, he would have been checked for everything. Because if, God forbid, something would have happened to Obama, he's in. I mean, agree with it, don't agree with it, he's the president at the time. There's no way they didn't check him beyond 2014. And again, I go back to what I said a minute ago. For 20 years into this new century in which we find ourselves, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump in the first term, for 20 years, presidents were checked for PSA levels as a screen against possible prostate cancer. But all of a sudden in 2021, we don't screen Joe Biden for 4 straight years. This doctor, this O'Connor, needs to be brought in and put under oath.
Right.
And to go back to your point that you started the discussion with, what about the 25th Amendment? I mean, if Joe Biden was as cognitively and now apparently physically as bad as we all now believe him to be, well, let me rephrase that. We know him to be that bad cognitively. We are now believing him to be, drool coming out the mouth and, propped up in the chair to keep him from falling over when he goes to sleep.
Right.
Which in some cases, that wasn't too far from the truth. But if he was that bad physically, then why was the 25th Amendment not invoked? Now, I think I've got an answer to that, and so do you. Well, they didn't want to give up power.
Yeah, well, Haya says it there because they didn't want Harris to be president.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, that's the whole idea. Because that was their scare. Because again, if how would you say it? If she invoked the 25th, she would have looked as she's grabbing power. They didn't want her as president because she's a complete drunk, like everything. So then that was the whole idea, to keep it alive as that well, and then she wasn't really in the loop. She wasn't really involved, so she was just a figurehead too. She was the DEI hire. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, but see, and this gets back to a discussion that I was having with a family member the other night, and I said, Kamala Harris might be as goofy as all get out, and there's no doubt she is. More than likely, I'm kind of with you. I think the woman's got a drinking problem, born out of insecurity, okay, or the fact she liked to really party. But lay that aside. But at least for all of her problems, while you may disagree with her lifestyle choices and you may disagree with everything else, the woman cognitively was functioning properly. Physically, there was nothing wrong with her that we are aware of. Let's put it like that. Okay. Okay. But cirrhosis. Anyway, but my point, if the people who ran the White House and the cabinet secretaries actually gave a damn about the country, they would have said, Mr. President, you've served your country well. You are not, in our opinion, physically able to carry out the duties of your office. We need to let the vice president take over. Now, I mean, someone made a statement a couple of weeks ago that this is going to get even worse for the Democrats, the political left in this country, etc. I can't disagree with that assessment, because the more this marinades out in the public, the more this sinks in, and the more people start looking at this, they're going to be like, my God.
But what they're going to do is, here's this is all coming down to the following. They are going to set up Harris to throw her out so she'll never run again, and to get her out of politics. Anybody that was part of the Biden inner circle will be ostracized, and then they'll be relegated to do television or a column or go on Twitter. And then they're going to come out saying, we got rid of the bad people and now we're going to brand new party. And they're going to come out for 2026 or 2028 as like we got rid of the people that did this to us. And they're going to try and rebrand themselves, and they can't. It's essentially the pop culture analogy is Endgame happened, and then now they want to be the new Avengers and the Thunderbolts and all that crap again. They're trying to rebrand, and they can't.
Yeah,
they can't.
Yeah.
They can't rebrand. It is a tainted entity. Politics is tainted. The news is tainted. Nobody's watching news anymore. We're getting our news from X or from podcasters, and it's done. The credibility is gone. This auto pen, this cancer diagnosis, this presidency, this past election is all of that. The things that we knew that they were doing are proving. And on top of that, the whole coming out with the whole COVID and the vaccine stuff that's coming out now, the Moderna did and other things did. Coming out.
Keep talking. I got that.
That is again. That's and more again. It's just basically lie after lie after lie after lie. For 4 or 5 years, we are told we are misinformation. We are conspiracy theorists, and it's all coming out now. Why?
Yeah, folks, did you happen to see this headline from the New York Post today? Biden officials knew about potential COVID-19 vaccine risks and took steps to downplay them, says scathing Senate report. Article by Ryan King from the New York Post. Dateline, Washington, D.C. Top federal health officials actively took steps to delay warning the public for months in 2021 about the potential risks of heart-related complications from receiving mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. A scathing interim report from Senator Ron Johnson's office alleges. Go ahead.
No. Now you're seeing this, but what will, if they say this and it comes out and there are hearings and there's a public outcry and then how many people took the vaccine, and what if this is again, what I'm leading to is the following. People are going to claim they have, injuries. They have problems. We already have $35 trillion in debt, 120 trillion in unfunded liabilities.
Yeah.
We're coming to the now. If I don't know if you know the term that about every 150 years there's a golden jubilee,
Yeah.
and this could be okay. We're going to reset and go to a digital dollar or something like that. This adds credence to they're building up to something big. If everything that came out as this vaccine injury, the people are not doing well. The economic crisis gets crazy because people are spending too much money. What's going to happen?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And you
Yeah.
it's like it's a public health financial crisis. It's 2008 on steroids.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, and again, it's one of those deals where, people were advised they should take the vaccine. In some cases, they were mandated to take the vaccine. Then all of a sudden, people are like, "Hey, this 19-year-old kid's falling over with a heart condition on a basketball court." Huh?
Yeah,
What?
you had it in the Senate
Yeah.
hearings were saying it. They were saying it today.
Yeah. And then, but no, there's nothing wrong with the mRNA vaccine, blah, blah, blah. Well, now we got a report saying, no, excuse me, the Biden administration withheld for months, withheld from the public that, there is so much getting dumped right now. There's so much getting dumped. That's
the thing. The dumping is my concern. All these stories coming out so quickly. It's information overload.
Yeah.
Watch between the lines. Watch out.
Yeah. Well, but to me, and again, the statement that I'm about to make is not necessarily original to me, but it's to me, it's the $1 million question. All right. All of these things are valid. They should be addressed. They should be talked about. But there's one thing at the heart of all this stuff that's coming out about Joe Biden right now, and it's the $1 million question that nobody is really focusing on. Who was running the country? Who was really the president? Now, you and I have educated guesses. Yeah. You and I have suppositions, but the American people have a right to know. If this man who was the president from 2021 to 2025, if it was quite obvious to everybody watching him that he was not sharp enough to do the job, not up to doing the job, okay, then who was running the country? Now, Tapper and Thompson, in their book Original Sin, they say, well, it was a committee of, various people. It was Ron Klain, the White House chief of staff, Jill Biden, et cetera, Blinken, and Jake Sullivan, et cetera, the Secretary of State and the National Security Advisor. But I mean, I think the American people have a right to know.
Right.
And they also have a right to have certain questions answered. Okay, if you guys knew he was this bad off and you're having to run the White House by committee, who was making the major policy decisions? Why didn't you tell the American people? Why wasn't he given better medical treatment than what he was? Why didn't you disclose it? Why didn't you invoke the 25th Amendment? The scandal coming off of this, I mean, people always say, oh, this is going to make Watergate look like a picnic. No, this makes Watergate look like a picnic. The cover-up of the condition of the President of the United States and the policy implications of all that. Who was handling foreign policy? Because it wasn't Joe Biden. Who was making the decisions? It wasn't Joe Biden. No, I mean, the American people for 4 years. Let me rephrase that. Folks in this audience, folks on the right side of the political spectrum, regardless of whether they like Joe Biden, don't like Joe Biden, this isn't even about that. This is about looking at a man honestly and saying, is he up to doing the job? Well, look, whether you like him, don't like him, whatever, it was quite obvious to everybody. He wasn't up to doing the job. Lay aside the question of prostate cancer. Let's just go back to the original question of cognitive decline. It was obvious to everybody he couldn't do it. Yet we're told, no, there's nothing wrong with him. He's sharp as he ever was, yada, yada, yada. And it's just staggering to me the lengths that the Democrat Party and the apparatchiks who run the party went to try to deceive the American people and hang on to power. It's just astounding to me. Absolutely amazing. So, all right, what else you want to say about this, my friend?
No, that was I thought I saw some some breaking news, but no, it's just it's old news. So I got
Okay.
distracted. Got distracted.
Okay.
No, but that was basically it. That was the most important thing that's been going on here. Again, the bottom line here is that this information is coming out for a reason, and it's to basically discredit those, to be scapegoated, and the Democrats will clean house. They will sacrifice Harris and just get rid of her and move on. Just that they're going to try and move on, and they're going to try and rebrand. That's what I truly believe. They're going to try a rebrand, and they should fail. But who's doing a worse job right now?
Who?
The GOP Congress sucks. They are inept. They are just a bunch of idiots, and Trump's trying to do all these things, and it's just like they get in the way.
Yeah,
it's all corruption. I'm just sick of
that. Is a good way of putting it. Hang on a minute. I just got this sent over from TBA over on the Rumble side. Ruben, I don't know if you've seen this yet or not, but check this out. Breaking, the FDA just ordered Pfizer and Moderna to update their warning labels on the COVID mRNA vaccine to include warnings about the risk of heart-related injury, primarily affecting teenage boys and young men. Oh,
now raw alerts may be wrong. I don't know. I want to make sure it's
okay.
I'm just saying. I've heard it can happen.
Okay,
but again, but it's not wrong. But I want to make sure it's correct.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I get it. But it is true. They are doing something out there. There was, because again, that was mentioned. That wording was mentioned in McCullough was speaking today in the Senate. Did mention that the vaccine myocarditis and enlarged hearts in young boys. That was mentioned today in the Senate hearings. So I don't know if the FDA did anything yet. But we'll see. But again, the Pfizer, Moderna, all these again, no, not good.
Yeah, I got another one here from TBA over on Rumble, and I will pop this one up here for the sake of sharing because it's kind of on the same subject of the mRNA vaccines. This is a quote from Senator Ron Johnson, Republican of Wisconsin. They lied when they told us the COVID-19 vaccines stayed in the arm. They knew it wouldn't. They designed the vaccines so the toxic spike protein spread all across the body, attacking organs. Wow.
Yeah.
WWG1 says, I can't imagine the sorrow that will be experienced by mothers when they find out they have poisoned their kids. It will be brutal. Yeah, you're right on that one, brother. You are right on that. But yeah, going back to what you started talking about, the Republican Congress. Oh my God, I've just never seen anything quite like it. These guys couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. I don't think they've got brains enough to do it.
Again, it's kind of funny because I had a conversation with Janet for Another Planet and others on a stream I had on Friday. We were speaking about the idea that we don't like the fact that Trump's doing all these, executive orders.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't like it. Congress also doing their job, and then now he's putting this bill out there, and then they stop all this stuff, and they're sidelining these things, and they're not. It's just, what are they doing? And again, it's like, how do you say it? People believe they're not engaged. The pain really has to come now, because the GOP believes that we voted for a Republican president. We voted for a MAGA president.
Mm-hmm.
I voted for somebody who wants to make America great again for all Americans. And Trump is doing that. He is crossing line. He's doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Small Time asked the question, are they holding up the bill on principle due to spending, or are they just trying to get their beaks wet? Could be a little of both.
Yeah.
Depends on who you're talking about.
Yeah, the only people I trust now are like Massey and Paul and a few. It's such a handful of people. It's nothing. Everyone else is corrupt.
Here's the thing that bugs me about right now about the one big beautiful bill. Okay, I understand what Trump's trying to do in terms of like pro-growth stimulus tax cuts. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And certain other tax provisions are trying to build in and making the tax cuts from 2017 permanent. I get it. My problem is the spending. My worry is, are we cutting enough spending to get this thing under control? We're sitting on what, $37 billion right now? 36 trillion. $36 trillion of debt, with annual deficits of about $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion a year. Okay. The thing that I'm hearing is that all the spending cuts in this thing don't happen until the out years, like years 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right. It's like, guys, if you just took the spending levels back to 2019, okay? If you just took the spending levels back to 2019, we'd be so much better off. I'm not even sure
they can't stop spending, and it's frustrating.
Yeah,
it's frustrating. I'm just done with it. And again, what is it going to take? A disaster or a war or a asteroid or something for them to wake up or whatever? But again, it really takes you and I in our lives to start living our lives and saying, you know what, it's going to be me taking care of me, taking care of my family, taking care of my community wherever I live, and then start from there. Because again, if they're not going to change, then it's not I have apathy. I just don't have I don't have no trust. I have no, but I'm not giving up on America. I'm just like done with you saying, trust me, elect me, I will do whatever you need. No, I'm done. No, it's done. There's no trust. Media, anything. I'm done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, and keep in mind, folks, the fight that's going on right now is just in the House. This doesn't even get into what the Senate does with this thing yet. That doesn't get into the conference committee fight that's going to happen when the two versions of the bill, when they get the conference committee together. Yeah, you're looking at some major in the gutter fighting like you ain't knife fights like you ain't never seen politically. And this is among the Republicans. The Democrats, keep in mind, they don't need 60 votes in the Senate for reconciliation.
No.
All they got to get's a majority.
But CR after CR after CR after CR, going to the Fed is printing and printing and printing and printing. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're not inaccurately describing our situation, brother. Now, the last report that I had, the Freedom Caucus, the congressional leadership in the House went up to the White House today for Trump to sit them in a room for a few hours and try and hash this thing out. They're trying to get this vote done on the one big beautiful bill before they leave for the Memorial Day recess. I don't know if they're there. I don't know if they got the votes to do it.
I think can he keep them there? Fuck.
Johnson could hold them there as long as he wants to.
Well, no. Well, I mean, Trump. What can he do to keep them there? To tell them not to quit?
There is a provision in the Constitution where if they both recess, the president has to call them back under extraordinary circumstances. He can do it, but both houses have to be recessed in order to let him do that, if I remember the provision correctly. But I mean, Johnson can hold them there. The House doesn't go home until the Speaker gavels them into recess. Johnson doesn't have to turn them loose. And he's already said either we vote on this thing before Memorial Day weekend or nobody's going home. Now, if he gives up on that,
then
Lord only knows when this thing gets done.
Yeah. Keep again. This is it. This is the bill. There has to be an answer. It's just to be done. I don't know. I'm just thoroughly frustrated with the process that the Congress is doing. It's so we can come together. We had our mandate. We have our moving forward. All the things that Trump's doing, trying to bring peace, bring money back in to America. And then just do the job, do your job. One man's doing all this stuff, and you guys can't do shit. It's just doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's a great point. That's a great point. I mean, look, regardless whether you like Trump, dislike him, whatever, fine, I can understand that. But the man is almost carrying the entire country on his shoulders right now because the Congress isn't helping him out, not by much at all, and the messes that Trump is trying to straighten out, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, our monetary situation, our fiscal house, all of it is just, I almost pity the man sometimes.
It's sad that Trump can go overseas and command respect and then basically doesn't get anything from Congress, but he should actually do it. I think he should go to Congress and walk in there and going, what's going on here?
Well, that's what he did the other day. He went up to the Hill to whip votes. He had a meeting with the House Republican caucus trying to get them to, and they came out of the caucus saying, Mr. President, we'll get there, but we're not there yet. We don't think these spending cuts are deep enough. So, I mean, you've got New York, you've got Northeastern Republicans are like, we want the state and local tax exemption to be bigger. You've got fiscal conservatives who are like, we want deeper spending cuts. And you're trying to negotiate these two different sides.
Now, here's a question. I've been really busy, with everything going on for the last few months here. What about Trump? Because he has Tulsi Gabbard, RFK.
Yeah.
He got former Democrats.
Yeah.
Are any congressional Democrats that would be swayed?
If this were 25 or 30 years ago, I'd say yes. Not anymore. I mean, well, but this goes back to something you said.
Crazy.
Well, no, but this goes back to something you said a minute ago. They're sweeping away Biden. They're sweeping away Kamala. They're sweeping away all these people. And now we have the new Democrat Party. Okay, well, what does that look like? Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, AOC, this LaMonica McIver, who got, who's under investigation now by the Justice Department.
The Crockett girl.
Crockett, yeah, you got Crockett. You got
Timu Obama.
Yeah, you got Low T Hakeem. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I said, this was 25 or 30 years ago. Yeah, you might be able to get some Democrats across the aisle here. Not anymore. Not these people. These people are crazy. These people are absolutely crazy. So, yeah, I know, man. I know. Well, I'll tell you what, since we're about, what is it now, 8:20 in the evening? I tell you what, or 7:20 where you're at, let's do a real quick commercial for both of us. Ruben, where can people find you on social media, and what can they do to support your efforts, my friend?
Yes, you can find me on Rumble, on X, on YouTube, and Substack at Ruben Haynes. So basically what I'm doing right now, things have been really, personally been really, really concentrating on family and stuff. But right now, all I need is your prayers. Because things are going to get better in the future. But, right now, just keep my nephew in your prayers right now. I'll be posting more content because I'm going to talk to Brian off screen about other things we want to come up. So I didn't get this hat for just one show. Let's just get this thing going because there's a lot more going on here. I subscribed to Ground News. I've been, again, all my news now, we've been talking about authenticity, and I've been doing Ground News and looking at, both sides. I want to hear the real story. And as soon as I know that somebody who is touted as, intelligent or a credible source has been proven not to be credible, done. So all media is done. I'm just very, very selective, and I'm glad to be here. And yeah, follow me here. Follow this gentleman right here over this guy. Where are you at now? What's your count?
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Chatting on the Porch. You can find me on Rumble at the Front Porch Conservative. You can find me on Twitter at the Front Porch C1, as you can see below. So yeah, hit me up on all those places. Subscribe to my channels. Follow me on Twitter. Follow this good guy right over here. Subscribe to his channel. Follow him on Twitter. We're just out here trying to give our opinion about the world and try and make it a little bit better place, one honest take at a time. So, Ruben.
Yes, sir.
Did you happen to hear about the president of South Africa visiting the White House today?
Oh, yes.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, when I said earlier in the live stream that the 4 letters that best describe Donald Trump's operating theory in his second term are FAFO, this is a real good example of it. Now, as you all are aware, for quite some time now, there has been quite the controversy coming out of South Africa that white farmers in South Africa are being killed. Their land is being confiscated and given over to people who aren't even family members of the deceased. And this policy, and I don't even want to really call it a policy, but it is. This policy is being supported by the government of South Africa. Well, the Trump administration took about 50 or 60 white South African families into the U.S. under asylum. Okay, they applied for asylum, and State Department granted it, brought them in. The howls of protest that went up from the liberal media and from the Democrat Party could have turned you deaf. Well, anyway, now that's the backdrop. So the president from South Africa visits the White House today for a meeting with Trump about various things, of course. And an interesting, fascinating exchange happened. So and you all have watched enough of these to know how that goes. Trump and the visiting dignitary sit down in the 2 yellow chairs by the fireplace, etc. And Trump opens it up to questions from the press. Now, I got to play this one clip to set up what happens next, because I tell you what, the answer to one of the questions given by the president of South Africa, the stones on this guy are extraordinary. So with that, listen to this, and then we'll set up what happens next.
What does it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Now, the reporter asked the question, what does it take for you to be convinced that there is no black genocide in South Africa? Now, the reporter is from South Africa. Here's what happens next.
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's, for him, no, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer.
Okay, so the president from South Africa, he says, I'll answer that one. What does it take? Now, listen to what he says next.
It will be,
Our president will respond to you. Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these 3 gentlemen would not be here.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ruben. For him to sit there and look at Trump and go, yeah, all it takes is for you to listen. All you got to do is just listen to us, and you will be convinced that there is no genocide going on in South Africa. Wow, the stones on this guy. He has the stones to do this.
I know. Crazy.
Now, that sets up what happens next. Okay.
Show this one.
Yeah, I will. Hang on. This is too good. So Trump says, "Oh, I'll do you better than listen to you. I'll show you what I think about this." Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll just show you what Trump does. Okay. So Trump says, "All right, you want to come here and try that? Watch this."
Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. Demand that at some point there must be killing because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot, kill, come on, sir.
The killing must be part of the revolution. For 4 minutes, Ruben, this went on. Trump's just sitting there, just, and like video after video after video after video after video. And by all accounts, the people that accompanied the president from South Africa, they're like hanging their heads going, can somebody get this thing turned off right now,
Trump
please?
brings the receipts all the time.
Oh, and not just pictures, not just videos. When they get through, he hands him a stack of news articles that are from the past 3 or 4 weeks coming out of South Africa saying this man got killed, this family got killed, this man was killed, on and on and on. 2 former, I guess they're still on the PGA Tour, Ernie Els and Retief Goosen, both citizens of South Africa. After the videos get played and Trump hands over the stack of stuff, they're in the White House, as you might expect, for different reasons, et cetera, so on. They're even trying to tell this guy this stuff is happening. Watch this.
I grew up in an area in South Africa that is a farmland area, Polokwane. Yep. And there is some issues up there. Obviously, my dad was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer. And some of these buddy farmers got killed. The farm is still going. My brothers run it, but it's a constant battle with farms they're trying to burn the farms down to chase you away. So it is a concern to try and make a living as a farmer. And at the end of the day, without farmers, there's no food on the plate. So we need the farmers to produce the food.
Farming, right? Yeah, he wouldn't even want to do what you're doing, right? They love farming. They don't want to leave. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, and food and fresh water is the most important thing in life.
And that's Retief Goosen speaking. Ernie Els is standing off to his left, our right. They're telling this guy, what you're hearing coming out of South Africa is absolutely true. Now, all of that would have been extraordinary enough because Trump just basically took this guy, grabbed him by the ears, and kept smacking him over the head, right? All of that would have been extraordinary enough, okay? But what happens next, we've been talking about how the press has no credibility anymore. Ruben, did you see the question that Trump got asked? So they show the 4 minutes of video. They hand the president of South Africa this stack of news articles talking about the killing of white South African farmers. You have men like Retief Goosen and Ernie Els, both citizens of South Africa, telling the South African president, yes, this is happening. Yes, this is a problem. Yes, this is genocide. What does the American press do in a moment like this? What do? What you would expect them to do, something profoundly stupid. And with that, you need some more proof as to why you shouldn't like the press? Check this out.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced it would be accepting Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One?
What are you talking about? You know, what are you talking about sports? You know, you got to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just said.
God, what a fucking...
You know, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing. They also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back, you ought to go back to your studio at NBC because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead.
Oh my, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Again, no. But here's the thing: again, the media thinks that people are morons. And they have made, NBC has made a lifetime of making TV shows to make you idiots.
Yeah.
And programming, it's boob tube. It's always been that way to do that. So they're going to basically say that, this country, when Trump went there, they gave him this gift. And again, no, dumbasses. Before Trump was elected in 2017, they were going to deliver 2 planes. There was a crisis that occurred that with they first had to negotiate the price, and then they did it. Then and they found the plane wasn't going to be delivered until 2025 or whatever it was. Trump wasn't going to even be president. During the pandemic, things got out of hand, and then it was delayed. So that and during Biden's administration, they didn't do shit about this. They didn't mention it. So then, when Trump comes back, he said, "Hey, where's that plane? Oh, it's having problems. Let's fix this." And they fixed it. It was a deal that was already done back in the Obama administration. So this is now they're twisting it like, oh, they're giving him a gift. No, it's basically the government. So again, when you have a dishonest media. And you have Trump saying what we all want to say to the media.
Yeah.
To Jake Tapper and to all these people. You are completely, you're not in the room. Literally, you had somebody there from South Africa, the president, and then confronted about all the atrocities that were going on and then gave the press pack about this situation is going on. And think about it right now. In Africa, there are more people in slavery than ever before.
Yeah.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about, what about this plane? What about this? It's totally off. No, you're not on the subject.
Well, but it's not even NBC. To give you an idea of how stupid is a disease that runs through the mainstream media. Right. Ruben, if your blood pressure doesn't go up after watching some of this, I'll be shocked. Here's the reaction on CNN to some of this. Check this out. This is just unbelievable.
Explaining that this is not true. What the videos show is Julius Malema, the far left opposition leader of South Africa. His party is called the Economic Freedom Fighters. And it also showed former President Jacob Zuma. What Julius Malema was singing, "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer," was an anti-apartheid song from the struggle against white minority rule in South Africa. They've explained that this is not a literal call to attack and kill the farmer because of the historical nature of that, but it's been weaponized by groups in South Africa and increasingly by the MAGA right in the United States to essentially misrepresent what is going on in the country, Brianna.
It also of note, Larry, can you
explaining that?
No. Did you see that? They are CNN is now touting what is going on in the White House as misinformation. Look at the unsubstantiated. So they're doing this, and I know that MSNBC does it, where they'll have the video, but they won't, but no audio, and then they will tell you what happened, which is not what happened.
Yeah, it just absolutely
Do not trust your
unbelievable.
lying eyes or lying ears. You know, we will tell you what happened.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Ruben, I'm going to let you take over for 1 second. I'm going to step away. Feel free to do a plug. Feel free to do whatever, and we'll get into our next story. And what do you got for us?
Right. Good. Oh, so okay, let me see here. Well, I have my ground news. It's very important to do ground news. That has everything we want to talk about. The one thing I did want to bring up very briefly, and I'll talk about it, is there was a very big announcement today in the realm of OpenAI. It's OpenAI acquires Johnny Ive's AI hardware startup, IO, for in a $6.5 billion deal. It's a very big thing, and I can send when Brian gets back, send him the link to this information here. Let me just get it to myself, and then I'll open this up here. But it's a very interesting aspect here. What's going on here? So there's a lot with AI that's out there, and I know that again, a lot of you all see AI and all that stuff, but it's how'd you say it? We are children in a world that's about to change. And I was telling Brian off the topic that AI is the equivalent of you getting electric, water, indoor plumbing, house. It's that much of a shift. It's not even going from horse-drawn buggy to space. It goes beyond interdimensional travel. It's really going to be very, very profound in the movement, how things are going. Because the one thing you're going to start seeing is something called AI agents, and they're going to start giving you hardware. And this is where you're going to have a disparity of people that don't have the knowledge available. You're going to have wearables, you're going to have things in your ear, your phones are going to be very intelligent and all that stuff. And I've already been doing this. The computer that I have right now on you, I installed an AI agent. I can call upon it any time. It has my knowledge. I'm building it so I can learn this stuff. But my foray is to say we have to have AI ethicists, generalists, people who will take it down a good path. This won't let you watch the thing. Damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. Okay.
Let me find another one. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, just for as an example, I use Chat GPT to help with like descriptions on videos, keywords, tags, stuff like that for my live streams, trying to get an advantage, because finally I was just like, I'm tired of trying to outthink the algorithm.
Try
it's
that
like,
one.
okay.
If that one works.
All right, hang on just a second.
I have ground news so I can see everything, but if it's going to be,
Yeah, I think this is going to do it, brother. Hang on.
But that's the thing. It's like when you have Johnny Ive. Johnny Ive was the main designer regarding the iMac. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple and decided to design the Apple grew from this experience. Now you're going to have OpenAI, Sam Altman. You're going to have Johnny Ive to create devices that they're going to be part of you. Like I have a ring. I wear a ring now. The ring it tracks my heart rate, everything. As I'm trying to continue my health journey, I want to lose 200 more pounds. So I'm doing this. I have my Apple Watch. I have my phone. So I'm wired in. I understand this stuff, and it has AI advisors. I do stuff. Hey, eat this better, do that stuff. So as I want to improve my life. And it's going to be very prevalent to be part of our lives and everything like that. But this is a big story. When you have the designer of the iPhone working with AI, it's going to be very prevalent. But this is why we have to be wary about what's going to do. And again, very, very careful, in my opinion.
Yeah. TBA over on Rumble says Ruben needs to look at page 1116 in Trump's big beautiful bill. It says the states cannot put in regulations to curtail AI development. Ooh, that's a bit worrisome, at least from my perspective. Anyway.
Well, here's the thing. here's where I agree with Trump. You can't stop it. You can't stop it, and you shouldn't regulate it in this regard, because we're going to get to, ASI very, very quickly. And if it's going to be opened, and that's artificial super intelligence for anybody who wants to know out there, and that's going to be, but again, it's going to, I believe you have people like myself who believe to be shepherds of the data to help it. You can't hide anymore. Because again, remember the plot, the plot of 2001, where you had Hal, and then they did in 2010, and in 2010 the movie was, they were telling him to lie and he couldn't lie.
Right.
I believe an advanced super intelligence or advanced, it will right now it does lie. It can manipulate. That's the problem. But if you basically teach it and help it along, it can be very dangerous, but we have to be out there. So I'm going to try and do it. Someone has to step up and do something. We can't stop it. It's like, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah, true. True. Johnny Ivy could handle Steve Jobs' craziness. That alone is impressive. And over on Rumble, WWG1 says, I assure you, Brian, I am not watching your show in my underwear covered in Cheetos dust. You can trust me. Why, WWG1? Why? Why would you? Oh, my God. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the wing nuts sometimes. I really don't. But we love y'all anyway. And you said for some reason I wouldn't tell people that you're sitting around in your underwear with Cheetos dust. WWG1. I don't know whatever gave you that idea, my friend. No idea. Oy vey. All right. Well, all right. Let me ask you this question. Talking about AI. Can we put the genie back in the bottle, or is it too late?
It's too late already, because again, the thing here is that all of these projects, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, someone says it's from China, it's for that. Yes, the server rooms or the actual, like, the brain of these systems lives in China, lives in Washington, lives there. But the code can be taken from anywhere. I have the code on my computer, so I can run it locally. So it is not one sentient being. It's basically, you can have it. It's your own collection of information, and you can do it that way. So there is, some safeguards in that regard. That's what but it's just, it should work itself out from that regard. But I'm going to stay stick to it.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a very interesting. TBA says, I got to skate. Have a nice evening, everyone. TBA, thank you for being here on the Rumble side, and thank you for all the contributions that you bring to this show. And believe me, brother, we're always glad when you're in the audience. So you have a good night, sir. A hat tip in your general direction. So, yeah, this is going to be real interesting where AI goes from here. I mean, look, you understand tech a whole lot better than I do. And I do agree. I mean, we're just now touching the edges of what we can do with some of this. But, I mean, it's also a little bit frightening. We're entering, like, the Terminator, phase of human history, the whatever you want to call it. Right. It's just, it is kind of frightening where we're going from here.
And there are two. Well, you have China with, like, DeepSeek and then OpenAI, but you also have, that is the code, but you also have the hardware, and hardware is getting you. So you can buy laptops that have AI capabilities, hardware like iPhone and this and that. That's the next big thing. But it's going to come to where they're going to push it inside, your refrigerator, your house, wireless network. So it's going to, that's where we have to, that is where we can stop. We can say no. That is where we can say no. We can say no to having it intrusive in our house. Again, we lost the battle with smart meters because of the environment or this and that. So they're going to tout something as it, AI is going to, because they can train the model to say certain things. And again, I can train it to say certain things too. Improve data from this, data from that. But I'm just going to say, I don't want it in the house. I don't want it in there, but you have to learn it.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. Really interesting. So, what else on this subject, sir?
On this subject, also that kind of like it is true, but it is a good bill that she's actually doing something about it. AOC with AI is reintroducing a bill that will help empower victims of AI deepfake videos. And it happens now where you have revenge videos that go out there, people will submit. But what if you didn't do anything to that person and you are giving them, and you just create a video and put it out there? And it's out there. So then this again, just credit where credit's due. And that's why I'm saying when it comes to these types of things, it's not going to be, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to say good for her, do it, put it out there, mention it. I'm going to get the link right here to the article.
Okay.
Oh, you freaking idiot. I keep wanting to do that. Hold on. I have it right here. The same thing again. I can see the article that it hides it because it's going to say it's epic, and it's always the second one. Don't click the first video, click the second one.
Okay.
And then you can there we go. That's the one for AOC. And again, and this is where I say she can wield power. You have to watch out for AOC. But if we can reach across the aisle and agree on some things, we can work together on some things, things can get better. We can work together like this. This is important because people out there, you have children now can be susceptible to these crimes.
Or you could be AOC and they have deep fake videos that are definitely not family friendly. Small time is absolutely correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree with AOC on this. I think this is one of those things we ought to pass mutually together. I really do. I think she's right. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think on this, she's absolutely right. Something's got to be done to rein this sort of thing in, But yeah, I mean, for example, there's AI stuff right now that's able to do some absolutely amazing things with like imagery and tech and stuff like that. Just kind of just blows my mind, Yeah. So, So, what else, my friend?
Oh my gosh! Well, there are other articles out there. But let me go into see what we've covered already. We ever covered the Trump thing. We ever covered. Oh, of course. The one thing that I did that we should cover in a good thing is an obituary to a great actor that I grew up with watching. George Wendt.
Yeah.
Had passed away. And if people don't know who he is, I'll get some, I'll find, the funny videos I saw.
Oh, no. Hang on, brother. I'm way ahead of you.
Oh, you got it already. Oh,
I'm way ahead of you. Sorry. Give me a second here. I will work on this for you.
But I'll tell you this much. I remember watching Cheers growing up, and it wasn't a show that I watched very frequently. But when I did watch it and the reruns, and it was fun. It was fun. And it reminds me of the time when I went, I was able to go to a bar for the first time. And then you would see replicas of Cheers at airports or places. And I was traveling all over the place. And I actually was there. And actually was at the one that, oh my, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was done at the actual Cheers bar in Boston, Massachusetts, which I have been there. It's been 25 years. 20, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's truly an amazing place. And yes, I walked down the steps and I said, Evening, everybody. And I kept waiting for Norm. Didn't get it. But yeah, I mean, I can't play him because we'll get copyright struck for it. But I mean, for example, George Wendt in the character of Norm walks in the bar. Evening, everybody. Norm. And then from behind the bar, Ted Danson playing, Sam Malone says, how's it going out there, Norm? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear. Another episode.
There are videos. There's video of the whole.
There's like an 18-minute compilation of all the best.
The best of Norm.
Yeah. He walks in, everybody gives the greeting. Woody Harrelson says, how's life, Mr. Peterson? It's treating me like a baby treats a diaper. I mean, just stuff like that. And it's just absolutely great.
Yeah.
And it's just, we were talking about it backstage. I mean, he's now like the second character, Kirstie Alley, who was on the show for several years toward the end.
Right.
He's like the second cast member now who's passed away. And it's just like, small time. You got a great point. Back in the 80s and 90s, NBC was a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Thursday nights, I can remember. I mean, that's when the phrase must-see TV came into being. You had The Cosby Show, Family Ties, Cheers, some other show. You had Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
I mean, just great. But Cheers
and the movies of the 80s and 90s at the time.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. We could do a whole
I know.
live stream on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it broke my heart when I heard this. I was like, absolutely. Now on the subject of things that not necessarily break your heart, but did you hear about James Comey's appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert?
No, I did not hear about this. Now I really want to know.
All right. Okay. For those of you who maybe hadn't heard about what's going on, James Comey's in hot water right now over a post on Instagram that showed some seashells lined up that had the numbers 8647. Well, many people took that to mean Comey was trying to incite violence, which frankly, I'm in that camp, because you can't tell me a man that smart around law enforcement all his life didn't know what those numbers meant. Okay. Now that said, Comey, being the consummate public relations guy, is trying to get out in front of this thing. So he goes on Late Show with Stephen Colbert to give an explanation of how all of this happened. Right.
Oh, dear.
So you want something that's going to make you gag. Here you go, folks.
No.
I'm just going to let it speak. Right.
Again, these people think the American people are complete morons.
Yeah.
They're lying to you right in their face. And that was, Mr. The dancing vaccine guy. Remember?
Oh yeah.
We're just done. You show that, and it just proves my point that it's all bullshit. I'm done with it. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Be authentic. Tell the truth.
Oh yeah. All right, one more, and then we're going to bring the train into the station. And I got to thank Gypsy for this one, who's one of our regulars here on the Electronic Front Porch. Here's a feel-good story coming out of North Carolina, which is not just a feel-good story, but it has to do with the question of economics. And I think you're going to be surprised, Ruben, when you hear this, because, people say Trump's tariffs are going to do this, Trump's tariffs are going to do that. Well, what if it turns out that the tariffs are actually making somebody's personal economy better? With that, check out this story from North Carolina.
Back to Trump's tariff plans in recent weeks. Some business owners fear it could put them out of business. Others are excited about the changes that could come. WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe talked to the owner of a well-known triad company that's doubled their sales since the tariffs started.
When you drive up to Carolina Custom Leather, the first thing you see is that they're hiring. Jobs for people like Davey Cartner. dad to an 8-year-old girl.
Yeah, we've been busy. It's really busy, actually. It's good. It's job security. I love having plenty of work.
Made in America at the market was huge. It was the big thing over there.
Bob Timberlake says his American home furniture line doubled sales from last year, in large part because buyers wanted furniture made in America to avoid tariffs.
The market was just, it could not have been better for us.
Each piece of furniture made just like this has multiple layers of helping the North Carolina economy. For example, this batting that went in it was made at another factory in Hickory, and that's stuffing over in High Point.
We finally are successful in getting furniture back in North Carolina and America. It's going to bring business to America. It's going to bring industry to America. It's going to bring jobs to America. And it's going to make us more successful.
Back in March, that's what President Donald Trump predicted when announcing the tariffs.
North Carolina, they had the grid. I used to go there to buy furniture for hotels, and it's been wiped out. That business all went to other countries. And now it's all going to come back into North Carolina.
While Timberlake's business is booming, other furniture companies struggled under the tariffs. The industry newsletter Furniture Today did a study and found 70% of furnishings-related businesses said the tariffs will have a very significant impact on them. 53% of companies saying they'll have to raise prices for customers. That impact now drastically reduced, at least temporarily. President Donald Trump lowered the tariffs on goods from China from 145% down to 30% for the next 90 days.
And you're doing patterns.
Timberlake says even with the drops in tariffs, he's hopeful more customers will keep looking to buy American.
It's out in the air. It's I know more about it. You know more about it. Everybody else knows more about it. That's the good thing.
Making sure North Carolina always has a seat at the table in the global furniture industry.
Oh my goodness. I thought the tariffs were going to lead to economic ruin. Oh my gosh. I thought, wow, people are actually wanting to buy products made in America. Why? To avoid the tariffs.
Yeah.
Economic
rationality.
rationality.
Was right.
Yep.
In the end, yeah. NAFTA. Yeah, because again, I live. We were both there. We saw that second sound. It did leave. It did go. And for a while, cheap products outside of the country. But again, detriment to our society in here. And he was right. There are a lot of small towns that produce a lot of goods. Get wiped out. And I want that again. I want to basically go somewhere in America and buy something that's American. I want to see made in America. I want to help a fellow American with a job. And that guy, imagine his dream was to work. I don't know if he wanted to work there or not, but he was very happy and he's working. You see, it's not if I'm working here. And the guy who is the business owner, you put a risk out there. He set that planet up. He has responsibilities. People he has to take care for, and you see how grateful he is that people are now buying American furniture again.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, and WWG1 says, "Can I still get my sushi if it's made in America without tariffs?" Oh my god!
Oh dear Lord!
Oh, thank you, WWG1. We will research the question on whether you can get sushi if it's made in the U.S. and see if we can do it for you without tariffs, my friend. There you go. There you go. All right. We're going to bring this train into the station, and we want to thank all of you guys for being here tonight. It's been a load of fun. It's been a while since Ruben and I have done some streaming together, and this has been an absolute blast. So, Ruben, one more time, where can people find you on social media? What are your channels? What are your handles? Where can they find you? What can they do to help you out?
Thank you very much once again here for the Front Porch Conservative, the great here sitting on the porch. I love it. I love it. Wednesdays are, and I'm glad to be here. No, when you said it to be here, it was very, very nice. And again, catching up was very, very good. So find me at Ruben Haynes, YouTube, Substack, Rumble X. I'm out there. I've been, for the last few months have been, personally, I've been doing a lot of things here, cleaning up, moving around. My poor brother has his baby son. No, my poor brother. Last October, he had a brain tumor. He had brain surgery. October, and then just now in March, his baby son Gabriel has cancer, and I'm going, what is going on here? So, but again, I thought of what happened. He didn't have all his jabs, and he got all his jabs, and then he gets this.
Mm.
I'm not laughing. I'm not mean bad. And when I
understand.
When I heard it, I went, so just keep in his prayers. I'm gonna find out more what's going on here. And again, my family, they're from Mexico. They're from Mexico. My sister-in-law is a native Mexican national. She doesn't speak English. They go back from Mexico and here and that. They were down in Monterrey, Mexico for a while, getting free healthcare down there, and that didn't work out. Now they're here in Edinburgh, Texas. Now they're going to have to go to Houston. So it's just a lot of trouble that's going on. But keep him in their prayers. Keep the good thoughts, and thank you for being here. I thank you all for inviting me here and being here right now. And we'll just keep on pushing on.
Oh, there you go. Well, for my part, you guys can find me on YouTube at Chatting on the Porch. You can find me on Rumble at The Front Porch Conservative. You can find me on Twitter at The Front Porch C1. Please subscribe to my channels. And we will be back. At least I will be back. Ruben's going to be back. We're all going to be back doing our thing on our own respective channels. I'm still up in the air about whether I want to do a brunch this weekend or not. I don't know yet. I'm thinking that one over. So, but videos will be coming out this week, trying to get them out. And we love you guys. We thank you very much. And as we depart, I ask you, as always, to remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said, "It's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, and more money." Love you guys very much. Ruben, thank you for being here. Hang on. We'll say some goodbyes backstage. And folks, have a good night.